Okay, so today we're going to learn how to make a preemie baby hat or a doll hat using the Nifty Knitter blue loom. You'll need the loom, the hook it comes with, scissors, the little yarn needle, and a skein of yarn. Put these things over to the side here. Don't need them just yet. Here's your yarn. You want to pull, when you start your yarn, you want to pull from the one where it's coming out of the middle. That way it'll be nice and smooth. Alright, and the first thing you want to do is make a slip knot. Lay a little yarn across your hand like this with the tail down. You wrap the yarn and then you just kind of hang on to both ends down here. So you put this over that one, this over that one, this over that one, and you kind of pull. You will have a slip knot. So with that, you tighten it up a little bit, and you are going to place it on the center peg of your loom and tighten it down. And this will hang down. Just ignore that for a while. Okay, so the very first thing you're going to do is wrap. It's called an E-wrap around the loom. So you take your yarn and you go to the back of the first peg, in front of the first peg, and to the back. And then you do that again. And you just keep wrapping. You go back to the front to the back, back to the front to the back. And the trick to this is you don't want to pull it so tight, and you don't want it to have it so loose or it'll actually unravel. So you just want a medium. You just lay it down gently, and you go all the way around the loom. Now, this is a problem. If this is too tight, you'll get a really tight wrap. So always make sure you have enough yarn loose so it always remains a nice tension. Okay, so wrap, wrap, wrap. See if you can see it this way. Around behind, in front, and around and back. Okay, so we just got back to our lead peg, and we're not going to do anything yet. What we're going to do is just hold this down for a minute, wrap it around the peg. And what you want to do is push all of these down, because we're going to make room for a second row. I tend to go from the inside, pushing down like this. So see, it's lower now on the, you'll have room for a second row. So we're going to wrap again. So starting with this one, we're going to go behind like this. You just keep wrapping. This might be an easier way to see it. And you make a second row. You want to go all the way back to the center peg again here. Here's the peg. We just ended right here. And you're going to actually wrap it around. This is just to hold it. There's no knot or anything. So you just hold it there. Okay, and this is where the fun part comes. But you've got double rows. You take your hook that they gave you, a little sharp thing, and you want to take, there's a little groove in each of these pegs. It's very handy. And you just slip it under, and you pull it over, not only this, but the top of the peg. So you lift up, pull over, lift up, pull over. Let's see if I can get closer. Lift up, pull over. And it's kind of fun. You just keep going around. The first one's always kind of tight, but as you get better at wrapping, it'll get more even. But it shouldn't be a strain to pull these over. If you really have to pull or pry it over, then you're wrapping too tight. So the next row you can kind of loosen it up a little bit. So this is just the fun part here. You're coming around. Okay, and we are back to our very first center peg. So we have made a full circle, And that is actually your first row of knitting. Easy, right? Okay, so what we're going to do is make room for more rows. So you want to go around. I push from the inside. You can also pull down from the outside. That's a little more time consuming. So you can just push with your thumb sideways and it pushes it down till they're all down low. Okay, and then you're just going to keep doing that. So let's see here. We're going to wrap, so it goes back, around front, around the back. Get some more yarn out here. Around the back, and then the front. Back, front, back, front, back. So just make a little kind of a backwards letter E all the way around. And actually you'll get pretty fast at this. You can do this while you're watching TV actually, because you don't need to count stitches or anything like regular knitting. You just wrap, and then when you get to the end, then you know to stop. Okay, so we're here again. See everything? We got 2 rows, and you want to just secure this for a second, and I just wrap it around a couple times, kind of hold it with my thumb. Now you've got another row, so you lift up, pull over, lift up, pull over, and you'll notice when you pull this one, the tension on here tightens from the stitch before, so it kind of makes a nice even stitch each time. So I'm pulling over, pulling over. What you do for a baby hat is you do about 10 rows. So far we've done the first row. This is our second row. If you want to keep track on a piece of paper on how many rows you're doing, or you can count them once you're done, you can kind of look in here and see I've got 1, 2 done so far. I just got back to the peg. Right now just do 8 more rows and then come back and we'll finish the baby hat. Okay, so you just met me back here. I just finished the 10th row. You can see it's starting to form a material, which is very cool. You can see on the bottom we've got this little folded up cuff. So what we're going to do here is take that off. You're going to keep the knot and everything in it. Just pull it off this tube, this peg. Just pull it off the peg. Gently pull it down here. I'm just holding it and I'm going to pull it out. That's why we did a slip knot. So now it's just a string, because we are actually going to fold this into the brim, so you'll never see it. You don't have to knot it. I'm going to make it a little bit shorter like that. So now it is just a little wee thing. Okay, this is the fun and tricky part of the brim making. Okay, so you're actually going to take the very first stitch we did. You're going to put it on the very first stitch that we did. Okay, as you unfold this, all of a sudden a flat bar will appear and you just pull it over. So now there's 2. And it's curled, but as you unfold it, you'll find the little bar and you just stick it over. So it takes a little bit of work, but after you do a couple, they start to they show up. Okay, so you unfold it, pull it over. And if you do this right at the very end, you'll have 1 for each peg. If you end up with something else, you might have to go back and rehook them up here. Okay, so 1 is the very first stitch we did, and we're just lining them up. And here is our tail from that we cut. We're going to actually lay it down in this pat, and we're going to cover it up like a blanket, and it'll never be seen. And if you did it right, there should be 1 left, which is right here. Oh, 1 left right here. Gotcha. Okay, each one now, 1 for each peg, and it'll look like this in the center. You're going to start on number 1 peg right here and pull this up and over, just like you would a regular row. And when you do that, it actually seals the brim. Okay, so we're back to the very last one, and now you push it all down, and you'll actually see this when you do some more rows. This will come out and you'll actually see a thick little brim, just like you would see on a real hat. underneath there.